Tim Howard and Landon Donovan doubled down on their NCAA hate. And here's a clip right now. I'm going to play it.
You've been in the LA Galaxy preseason when college players have come in, right? It's not that these college players aren't good. You've been in the LA Galaxy preseason when college players have come in, right? Mm-hmm. I've been in New York and in Denver when these college players come in. You're ultimately, LD, getting a 20-year-old player, right, who hasn't played a lot of soccer in the last 5 years. So you've seen it.
Right.
The player's actually, it's pretty good. He knows how to head it and kick it, get it down, play a pass here or there. But overall, he's not a very good soccer player because he hasn't.
Contradiction, but let's keep going.
So he's gone 5 years almost and played no soccer, like little to no soccer. He's played from like September to November. And then he's asked to come into a MLS team, which, by the way, it's win now, it's invest in you. Why would we invest in a player who's already past his sell-by date, and we don't even know if we can develop him because he's 20 years old already?
All right, here we go. Crazy talk from Tim Howard right there. I want to break down everything he said and why he's wrong. First off, he goes, they're pretty good. 2 sentences later, they're not very good. They're not a very good soccer player. They only 5 years to graduate college all of a sudden is another thing he said. But, and then he starts talking about they haven't played enough. They only play September to November. Also, not true. There are some programs where you play the fall season and then you're off the hook, you're done. Other programs you play year-round, fall, winter, spring. And then summer you have to train to get back to playing in the fall again. And it's common knowledge that a lot of guys play in PDL over the summer. So I don't know what he's talking about with not enough. Now, on the other hand, see, this is what he did here. What he did here is interesting to me because he took a stance where there's a percentage of truth to what he's saying, which lies in the fact of this. As a college player, you ramp up, and then the fall season is when you play a lot over a short amount of time. So hypothetically, you'd want to peak right as, the day of preseason. You want to be like fully fit, basically. So then you pile drive through the season, no problem. That's the most important part, is to win then. And then he's saying win now and invest in now. What do you think college is? You think you're going to make the team to get developed? It's win now. You get cut. It's ruthless out there. So, and bear in mind the fact that Tim Howard and Landon Donovan, both guys that never played in the NCAA, but they have strong opinions on the quality of the players, based on, from what he's saying here, guys that came into MLS camp and, didn't make the cut, or they were good, but they weren't good enough. Now, there's more subtleties to this stance from Tim Howard. Another subtlety is this. Let's look at who's being brought in from college into these MLS camps. Perhaps there should be more accountability on the part of the scouts who are bringing in guys who maybe they're bringing in guys that are, the most fit or have the best stats, but maybe they're not bringing in the most talented guys who maybe aren't putting up the most stats, or, where's the scouting coming in? It comes through the MLS clubs too. So you would think, and I brought out my MLS yearbook from '97 in a previous video, and this is another subtlety to this whole thing. It's like, what has changed? Because in '96, '97, the NCAA was the feeder into professional soccer in America through the MLS. And they're still feeding guys in through the NCAA now. So he's making a blanket statement to basically try and hate on the NCAA. I'm guessing in favor of the academy system. Seems to be very much a political. See, this is where it gets into the politics of the federation and who's on what side, I guess. And there's money in the MLS, so the money talks. So from what I understand, the new way of doing it is you go to some MLS academy, they develop you into, professional level player. Jury's out on that. We'll see how the team does at the World Cup now. But as I pointed out in a previous video, the best ever results had a higher percentage of NCAA players. And then as that percentage is getting smaller and smaller, we've seen the results of the national team go down further and further. Now, another thing these guys are missing out and Tim Howard is absolutely talking crazy on the internet. I saw another video where he basically says that he can play left back, and I am gonna call wild bullshit on that. He stands no chance playing left back in a professional game, in any game, any time, any place. Tim Howard at left back, put me up top. I will dust him, absolutely dust him up top, even to this day. Just putting that out there. There's no chance you could play left back. And also, taking shots at NCAA players when you've never played in the league, what do you really know? Plus, as I previously stated, my thing is this, and I'll talk about this in more videos. I'll get into some technical talk now. You can check out my book here, Soccer American Style, Journey to the NCAA, where I talk about my whole career from start to finish. And then basically give you like my thoughts on, you know, everything that happened to me, etc. And I talk about this is what I want to cover. Sort of like a 3-silo system, as I like to call it. So, and there's a lot of talk about player development. And this video of Tim Howard talking to Landon Donovan on their little headsets is basically just trying to say, like, NCAA is not good enough to develop into a pro. They're almost responding directly to me, so I'm going to respond directly back to them. And this is the 3 silos, right? This is what it is. It's technical, physical, and mental. So those 3 silos, and then you can go down each of those silos. So like technical is one that a lot of people focus on. And you see guys that are like technical wizards out there, right? So if you have everything in technical, or you think you have everything in technical, because not only is it feet, but it's upper body and head too, very important. Tim Howard knows what he's talking about on some level, because he mentioned in his hating, he's like, oh, the NCAA guys can head the ball, and they can make a pass here or there, whatever. But, so technical. Let's say you have everything technical. You still got 2 silos left, physical and mental. The physical part is basically just conditioning. And then the mental part, you know, is all the tactical decisions that you're making in the game, and like, are you clutch under pressure? Are you making the right mental decisions in every single moment on the pitch? And also, like, when you look at guys who made it to the pro ranks, they are very much so dialed. And what I mean by that is like laser focused at all moments. Not a single moment are they not laser focused, to have 0 errors, and also consistency. And that's basically what I think Tim Howard is saying. And I do agree with him on some level in terms of consistency. So coming out of college, was I ready to become a pro? No, because I wasn't consistent enough in what I could do. However, I possessed the skills and abilities to, execute the proper, you know, technical moves, but not at 100% consistency for the most difficult moves that you see professionals do all the time. Quick examples. One would be like, say I'm playing outside mid, and you get a ball in the air, you know, with slight pressure on you, to be able to jump up and chest that ball to the side every single time right to your own feet to make sure you have, you know, perfect one touch to yourself. It's like, can I do that? Yeah. Can I do it 100 times out of 100? No, not out of college. You know, there's other examples I could give, but I'll wrap up the video on this note. I think that to say that the NCAA is not good enough to develop a pro is really, it's giving way too much power and credit to these academy systems, which have yet to be proven in America. And it seems like they're centered around money. You know, MLS is all about making money, right? It's a business. So when they do tryouts for whatever, the MLS Development Academy, like, money's going to talk there. Whereas if you look at NCAA, there's changes that could be made, and they are making changes in order to, and that's another response to Tim's video. They are making changes to try and, like, extend the season, I guess. You know, because there's been a big complaint about the season's too short, it's outdated, it's archaic. I make different points in my book about why I think that the old way So the way that I played in it with the rules that we had, that, you know, had proven success at the pro and on the national team levels, the results of the old way, I think, should be kept in place. But they're making new rules to try and add more tempo to the game, etc. But the quality has dipped, and I talk about that in another video. So I may be responding to Tim Howard from 20 years ago with what I'm saying, because the quality maybe has dipped a little bit. But my main point is that in his short, he's basically coming across and saying things that are like, there's way more subtlety to it. And one of the biggest things is this scouting. So who's responsible for bringing guys into the MLS, and what are their decision-making processes on who they decide to bring in? They go through combines, I'm pretty sure. They get selected for the combine, or it's super draft. And there are successful guys that come in. So it's like, yeah, you're going to cut whatever the percentages are. And I love to look at the percentages of, like, out of every high school soccer player, this amount play in the NCAA. And then out of every NCAA player, this amount play pro. So it's like, yeah, it goes down. Like, yeah, not every single guy is going to make it. However, back in 96, 97, that's how they kind of, like, what's that word? Seeded the league, let's say. But I think the experience of playing in college offers a player a huge set of experiences and can build you into a professional if you have what it takes. Now, in my experience, I played my entire life and was talented from day one. So my experience of playing in the NCAA and having access to training that I was missing prior to that is that I was able to take my innate technical abilities and polish them even more. And then I also, so that's one silo that pretty much got, like, very nicely polished. And then physically with the conditioning, total different ball game with there, and, you know, playing physical as well. Mental was never a huge concern, but like I said, I learned that, you know, if you want to get to the pro level, you have to be totally dialed mentally. Great example of this whole process is that guy Matt Sheldon, and just eyeball test, when you look at him, it's like, yeah, he played D1 and he was like a stud, let's say, playing up top in D1, but, like, why wasn't he from that resume automatically going to become a pro? It's like, well, his touch wasn't that great, and he admits it in his videos that he didn't spend enough time taking touches on the ball. So out of 3 silos, he had the physical with the conditioning. The mental seems like it's pretty good as well, but technical, he was missing part of the silo. You got to have all 3 and develop those down. And I could even, maybe I'll write another book about all the different varying criteria that each silo encompasses. But just my thoughts on Tim Howard and Landon Donovan, again, running their mouths on the NCAA, hating on it, neither of them having ever played in it, and promoting the academy system of development. They think we should be like Europe and MLS and money talks. You've heard me talk enough now. I'll see you next video.